Amy from Courage is the Cure. Welcome to episode 50 of Rise. And this morning we're going to be talking about the March for Australia that was yesterday in Perth. The real heroes of the day. I'll see you in a jiffy.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 832, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come higher.
Mighty good morning, everybody. Like I said, welcome to episode 50 of Rise. It is the 1st of September 2025. Share the show. I can see we're already being shadow banned quite heavily. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Today, this morning, this afternoon, we're going to be talking about the March for Australia in Perth, which was yesterday on the 31st of August 2025. And we're going to be talking about the real heroes of the day. What an extraordinary day it was nationwide yesterday, huh? Hello, everybody. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who has ordered the Be Free bespoke lapel pin. Probably not going. There it is. I will be processing your orders today. It's been a very busy weekend, so I am a one-woman band. I do everything myself, so thank you for your patience, and that will be happening today. So thanks to all those people. And, of course, thank you to everybody on Buy Me a Coffee. Courage is the Cure is 100% independent, and that is only possible by being 100% crowd-funded. So thank you to everybody there on Buy Me a Coffee. Hello, Karen. How are you? Now, yesterday, I did live stream the March for Australia in Perth, and I had hoped to be able to do a live cross. Hello, Emma. Oh, you're not allowed to comment. Yes, you're one of the naughty people, permanently in a naughty corner. I was hoping to cross live to Geraldton. That is a city north of Perth, roughly about 300, 400 k's north of Perth from memory. Don't quote me on that. But when they were marching, I was on the road and I was unable to do that. But thank you to wonderful Pauline, who has sent some photos through and said that the day went very well. They had their own march there around Geraldton. So a big congratulations to everybody in Geraldton that participated. And thanks for your updates, Pauline. I really appreciate it. Hello, Silvertail. Hey, Robin, thanks for yesterday. Quick look at social. Only the negatives posted by the influencers, they're the same as MSM. Yes, it's a tough one to cover, I must say. And we'll get into my thoughts about that throughout the show. We'll get there anyway. Hello, Joanne. How are you? So the real heroes, yes. So once again, huge thank you to Pauline for the updates in Geraldton, and a big congratulations to everyone up there who had their own rally in Geraldton. Hello, Karen. Thank you very much. I'm feeling it today. I tell you what. I must have covered Perth 4 times, and I'm feeling it in the old legs this morning, I must say. Definitely a weird weekend, Gail. Yes, what a weird weekend. Had some infiltration by the NSN in Hobart. Just for everybody's information, I'm not going to be using that acronym this morning. That is the first and last time that I'm going to use that acronym. Because I don't want to give them any more air than is necessary. But yes, Gail, what a weird weekend, eh? But we all knew that it was going to be a weird weekend, didn't we? I mean, honestly, we all knew that. We all knew that. Maybe the general public didn't know that, and they still don't know that, but whatever. You know. Stay in love vibration. Exactly. So what are we going to go through this morning? We're going to have a look at some photos, a fun fact from Perth that I'd like to highlight. We're also going to have a look at part of my coverage because I'd like to highlight something. And then following that, we're going to have a look at some of Max Freedom's coverage. Of course, Mac? Hello, Mac. Max Freedom is another wonderful independent journalist here in Western Australia, and a drone extraordinaire, and all sorts of magical, wonderful other things that he does with videography. And Max was covering it yesterday, so I'm going to, at the end of the show, pop some of his footage up because his footage really highlights the heroes of the day yesterday. And I want to show Max's footage towards the end of the show. So we will be covering that. Okay, so let's start it off, shall we? Yes, magnesium rub. Great idea, Karen. Where should we start? We're going to start with just a little bit of a explanation of what happened in Perth yesterday. So it's estimated we had between 15 to 20,000 people in Supreme Court Gardens yesterday, which is absolutely massive. And we started off at Supreme Court Gardens, and then the march went up Barrack Street and then up St George's Terrace and up the hill to Parliament House. And the attendees, wonderful Australians that were there, got very excited. And I'm just going to pop a picture here. Let me take that banner down so we can enjoy the glory. This is St George's Terrace in Perth, and the timetable was that people were to start marching from Supreme Court Gardens up St George's Terrace at 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Well, people got excited. People got really excited, and as we can see here, a sea of people. And so what happened, those excited people left first, and I saw all of these people leaving. And so I quickly left with the first excited group who couldn't wait for the official okay to go. And so I quickly went the back way and proceeded up St George's Terrace with the first wave. Now, this photo is taken from just about the top of the hill on St George's Terrace before you make the last of the journey to Parliament House. And at that point, it's probably around the same point that this photo was taken. I turned around to get a similar shot as this one here on my live stream, and I noticed that there was a second wave, because prior to that I'd seen the police horses, the Clydesdales that they had. They'd actually come in behind the first wave, and I just assumed that that was the end of the group. Well, when I turned around, heading up to the top of the hill there, I realised, hello, we actually do have a second wave coming. And that's when I realised that we'd had an excited bunch leaving first, and we had the official march that started at 2:00, following us up the hill. Now, the photos and the vision I'm going to show you for this portion of the show is not because I want to highlight the anti-immigration white supremacist groups, but I do want to show and talk about what isn't shown on MSM and my experience from yesterday. Hello, Janet. How are you going? So, as I said, the first wave went. I went with the first wave, the people that couldn't wait. And then we had the Clydesdales move in, and then the official march began at 2 o'clock, and we had the second wave. Now, I was very surprised to see that leading the official march were not Australians with the blue Australian flag. You know, we all saw the images yesterday from all the different live feeds from around the country, all the wonderful people streaming, you know, the sea of Australian flags and, you know, people wearing the fun Australian T-shirts and, you know, little flags in their hats and all that sort of thing. That's not what led the official Perth rally yesterday. Let me show you what led the second wave, which was actually the official start of the march at 2 o'clock. This is what led the march in Perth. This is, for anybody that doesn't know, the anti-immigration white-only group. And for anyone that's just joined us, I'm not going to use their acronym. I don't want to give them any advertising for people to go and look it up. They led the second wave, the official start of the Perth March. Now, to the right-hand corner of that vision, you can see two people in fluoro vests. They were two of the organisers for the Perth rally. Now, when they made it up to the top of the hill, remember this photo here is taken from the top of the hill at St George's Terrace. When they made it up to the top of the hill in St George's Terrace, I spoke to one of the organisers, and you can see her there, the young blonde lady. And everybody can go to my live stream and see that engagement that I had with her. And I asked why they were leading the rally. And because it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look good. And she didn't have an answer. She said she didn't know. Hi, Rod. That's because they walk quickly past everyone to get to the front. I have a video of them racing past people to try and lead the march. Well, thank you for that information. And we can only hypothesize about what the organisers could have done to mitigate those awful optics, I have to say, Rod, because it didn't look good. So Base Blondie, who I said I spoke to at the top of the hill, she said she didn't know. Now, I have to take her word for that. I have no reason to believe that, you know, she'd be telling me porkies. So I have to take her word for it. But unfortunately, that's what happened. And as we've just had Senator Rod Caddies from One Nation there commenting that they quickly walked past everyone to get to the front. That's what happened in Perth. So that didn't look good and very unfortunate, in my humble opinion. So that was the official start to the march up to Parliament House. Rod Caddies, I have videos of them trying to put that big flag in front of them. Yeah. So I'd like to move along to when we were at Parliament House because it became quite apparent, and we're going to the Australian flag. Yep. It became quite apparent that members of the anti-immigration white-only members were standing on the stage, and that infuriated me because the vast majority, 99% of the attendees at the March for Australia in Perth, yesterday were there for the right reasons, because they love their country, because they're worried about their friends, their family that aren't able to get housing, their children that aren't able to get housing, friends and family that they know that are homeless, all these sorts of things. 99% of the Australians that were there yesterday were there for the right reasons. And I thought it was a little disturbing to see members of the White Only Association up on the stage. So we're just going to screen the share to my X page, because I'd like to show you part of my live stream where, quite frankly, I had had enough, and it was bothering me that nobody was pointing out that these people were standing on the stage. So let me take you to, this is from 1 hour, 16 minutes into my live feed when we were up at Parliament House. You can see there the gentleman with the lanyard around his neck. He is one of the organisers, and we're just going to take it from here. And I just want it to be known that I called this out because I think the vast majority of Australians, as I said, were there for the right reasons, and they weren't aware that these people were up on the stage addressing the public. So here we go.
So you can't hear me out there? Here's the good one. Can you hear me at the back? Well, why don't you shake your head? Anyway, they'll get up here shortly, guys. I'd like to put some music on for you, but all they've given me is a microphone and speaker to set up. And that's great. We've got a weird hat, and then we'll try and entertain you for a bit. Anyone know any good jokes? Roger, cool. Anyway,
We had a very long wait, people becoming very disquiet, and of course that gives the opportunity for the anti-immigration white-only associates to become rowdy.
So the person speaking is Alan McGregor. I'm very surprised at that choice, I have to admit. As I said, we've got another couple of thousand people coming up the hill. They're not going to fit here. They're not going to fit.
So if I get the shit, that's all right. Yeah, you'll probably see me in the news later. The battery's running dead on that one. Oh no, it's not.
Check this.
Oh, okay. You've got to press the button. I've got to push the red button. All right, don't push the button. Come on, you're confusing me now. All right, well, the guys that organised all this today, we've been hiding out, actually. We've been very quiet about it.
I'd like you all to take notice that Alan McGregor there, one of the organisers, is actually standing and using the megaphone of one of the members of the White Only Association.
Kept it very secretive, and look at this turnout. Thank you! Thank you, Australia. Thank you for standing by me, and thanks, Brian, and everyone else.
Alan, no one is standing by you. Get that right.
Today. Because without doing that, we're absolutely rooted. Right? We don't make this sort of presence known to our government, and we don't keep doing it, then they're going to keep walking all over the top of us, eh? I mean, did you get a choice in how many people are just did you get a job as a taxi driver?
This is fucking bullshit.
Stupid question, but can you? Why? Because all the jobs are gone, and any job that's coming
This is absolutely a Nazi rally.
Anyway, I'll push over to Rod County, and he knows what he's doing. I don't.
It's a fucking Nazi rally. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
And I make no apologies for my language either.
Yeah, we've got about another 7,000 to 8,000 people about to join us.
And these good Australians don't realise.
How many people can hear that? Can you hear? What about this? Is this better? Turn up any more? See if we can turn that up more. Which is better? Let's go. Is that the megaphone? What's the megaphone? What's that one?
So this young man is now addressing the crowd. This young man, who is part of the white-only party, association, whatever they want to be called, and I'm not using their acronym, he is addressing the Australian public. And the good, honest, Australia-loving people have no idea who this young man is and what he represents. And I'll also point out that the organisers who are standing right behind him are doing nothing to remove him.
What? We want to make sure this is. We want to make sure this is loud. But this one, I don't know what.
You do realise that these are white-only immigration people. Those are fucking Nazis who have organised this.
I think we'll just go with this guy. Now, guys, we've got people. Man, that doesn't sound loud. We've got people still all the way down St George's Terrace to the park. How great is that? The only bad part about that is they're not going to be able to get in here to listen. That's his crew there yelling that.
It's terrible. Bad, bad, bad. What a disgrace.
Put the microphone in front of the megaphone and you'll get the customer. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Somebody's just asked in the comments who arranged for these people to speak. Luckily, we had Senator Rod Caddies there. He spoke very well at Supreme Court Gardens and also at Parliament House. But at Parliament House, the only other speaker was a friend of one of the organisers. So there were no other speakers at Parliament House. So I don't have an answer for that.
We love Australia!
No. You don't watch what I do? Okay. Or maybe you'd like to.
Well, boys, the line call.
Astounding.
All right, you everybody shuffle down this way. We're trying to get some more people in. Shuffle down to the left over there.
You don't want to be upset with me, love. You want to ask them questions.
Yes, it was quite funny when I was pointing out that we had white-only supporters on stage. The ladies behind me said to me, oh, you're going to portray us as Nazi supporters. And I just took one look at her and I said, here's one of my flyers. You can look up what I do. She'd automatically assumed that I was part of MSM or corporate media and was there to portray the audience as a bunch of Nazis. Well, I was there getting really revved up. And I think actually what happened after that lady said to me, I couldn't hold myself anymore because nobody was saying anything. And these young men, very disingenuously, not identifying themselves, not telling the thousands upon thousands of people that were there what group they were associated with. And I quickly became quite annoyed, as we shall see shortly. So we're just standing there, because we're waiting for this and waiting for that. Very poorly organised. He's still up there. They know, the organisers know exactly who he is.
He doesn't want the megaphone.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still waiting for more people to come.
Have you introduced yourself? You don't have to. Oh, you going to? Fantastic.
So I asked him, have you introduced yourself? No. Are you going to? Yep, great. So, waiting. Is he going to? He's got his minder next to him there. Another one in front of him, I would assume.
Good Australians.
Megaphone men. Sorry. Tell everybody, it's not just immigration, it's about the fact that the government's selling off Australia. We don't own the airport.
It's so disingenuous that person is up on the stage and these Australia-loving Aussies, look at them all, have no idea who that guy is, what association he represents, not a clue.
Who is this guy? That's what I want to know. Who is he?
It's all of the politicians.
It's at this point, Rod, if I'm not mistaken, you're watching. I think you were made aware of the nefarious nature of these people. That was my assumption at this point in time, but you are watching, so you can correct me.
We're going to have to start talking with the organisers still coming up, so we'll get going because we can't wait any longer. Yeah, well, I don't, to be honest, they're trying to link us to certain things going on here today. I don't know what all this microphone things are on here with the group that are here today.
Who are
You want
you?
them to link us to things we don't want to be linked to?
Who are you?
I've got to be careful because they're looking to do it. The media are looking to join us and say that we're attacking migrants in this country. We're not. We're attacking
Who are
the
they?
government with their mass immigration.
Who are they? Hey, who's this guy? Who are you? Hey, I'll see, will I? Who are you? Why don't you tell all of the thousands of people here who you are? When? Hey? When? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does need to go. Who are you?
I love Australia. I have just as much a right to be here than you do. We're all here to be unified because we love Australia.
What group are you a part of? What group are you a part of? What group are you a part of?
Guys, they've got the speakers coming up, the other speakers and that.
So there we go, everybody. I just wanted to show that because I got really, really tired of the good Australian folk there having this young gentleman address them and nobody questioned him. None of the organisers try to move him away. I got really sick and tired of it, so I decided to make it known that we, the Australian public, deserve to know who this gentleman was, what his name was, and what association he was affiliated with. Neither of those two facts did he disclose on stage or after the fact either. It was all just everybody's guessing game because of the banners they were flying, the so-called uniform they were wearing, and the chants that him and his friends were spouting. Mr. Rod Caddies, I was trying to tell them I didn't want him on stage or involved. I was told he was the leader of their group. Interesting. Doesn't surprise me for a second. And I just want to point out while we've got Rod here, Rod did a great job yesterday following the rally in Perth. Joel Jamal gave me a call and we did a live interview on the Arc because, of course, Joel Jamal was busy. I think he was streaming for 7 hours yesterday, jumping from live stream to cover all of the capital cities. So, as I said, at the end of the day, I jumped on with Joel and just gave a roundup. And I did point out a couple of times there that Rod did a great job, especially on Parliament House, because people were becoming very disquiet and we did have some chanting and things like that of slogans that are very unbecoming. And Rod did a very good job. And I think, yes, Rod, you've joined us late. I'm not going to use their acronym. I don't want to advertise it, but people can read that in the comments. Rod did a great job of trying to rescue the situation because, of course, there was no leadership from the organisers. There was no one managing the crowd. There was no other speakers, and so it was a little bit of a dog's breakfast, if I'm honest. But Rod did a really good job of trying to mitigate all of those things, and that's one of the points that I made with Joel when we did the roundup on the Arc podcast last night. So I became very annoyed because, transparency is key. We all know that throughout the capital cities, nobody knew who the organisers were, nobody knew who the speakers were, all these sorts of things. And when people are in front of you like that, on stage, and you've got thousands upon thousands of people, a sea of people. In fact, half of them couldn't even come up to Parliament House because there were so many people in Perth that came. Estimates between 15 to 20,000 people. In my humble opinion, the organisers have a real responsibility there, especially when people on stage are addressing the public to make sure that they're the people that should be there sending the messages of the day and transparency, having those people identify themselves if they're affiliated with a group to say all this. Well, that didn't happen with that young gentleman. So as I said, I became very annoyed and I had to shout and ask, who are you? What group are you from? And all those sorts of things. So you all saw it, and that was that. So people can come to their own conclusions about the Perth rally, how that happened, why it happened, all those sorts of things. I'm not going to postulate here. People can do those things all by themselves. But thanks, Rod, for your comments this morning. I appreciate that. Yes, and like Rod had said earlier on, people did start marching before they were allowed to march. Again, they didn't have the marshals at the entry and exit to Supreme Court Gardens to stop people from beginning to march and all these sorts of things. But, it is what it is. And there we go. Hello, Melissa, how you going? But yeah, Rod, that's because their group had been told they were not allowed to be part of proceedings. Well, yes, you would think so. So I don't know why they would be up on stage addressing people with a megaphone, if that's the case. I guess we can tell people one thing and then allow people to do other things. I don't know. Alrighty, so let's move on from that. I would like to go back to my stream here, and I'm going to take us back to very early on in the stream. I think I was streaming for about 3 hours for the march. I just want to take us to about 5 minutes into my coverage, and I spoke to this gentleman here. So now we're going to move on to the heroes part of the day. Who were the real heroes? Who were the real heroes? You can see them behind me there. The wonderful Australians, the mums, the dads, the nanas, the grandpas, the aunties, the uncles. I saw families with prams and tiny little babies, and it was just absolutely marvelous to see Australians coming out with their flags. Australia Day now, it's leaning towards a kind of German situation where it's too right-leaning, too nationalistic to fly the flag in Australia, even on Australia Day. So it was just fantastic to see everybody come out, as I said earlier in the show, with their funny Australian shirts and little tiny flags sticking out of their belt buckles, and the nanas, the grandpas, and everybody that was there. It was absolutely fantastic. Rod's just said 80% couldn't join us, sadly, with the limited space we had at Parliament. Yikes! I didn't realise it was that many. Holy pacholi! That's a lot of people that couldn't get in there. So the real heroes of the day, as I just said, were the everyday Australians that came out on such a beautiful day, beautiful weather. Let's hear from one of the gentlemen that I managed to speak to, as I said, about 5 minutes into the live stream.
March for Australia. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Why are you here today, sir?
Well, I'm actually product of World War II migrants and refugees, and my parents worked very hard. All of us siblings, we always had jobs, never got the dole, never claimed benefits, and I've got a good retirement, great country, and I contribute, and it's getting destroyed. And when you spend $250,000 on a machete bin, the bin's not the solution, is it? It's something's gone wrong.
It's crazy.
That's my view. Absolutely. I could talk for hours, but I'd drive you mad.
No, it's fantastic. Well, we're let me get that in. That's where we're streaming to, so you can have a look.
Go.
Pauline Hanson for Prime Minister. There we go. Have a great day.
So there we go, everybody. That was just one of the heroes that I managed to talk to, and the absolute sea of people that were there in Perth yesterday was absolutely fantastic to see. Absolutely marvellous. So let's stop screening that share. And that coverage of mine is on my Fascist Book page, my Rumble channel, Courage is Secure, and also my X page at Robin RJS. So let's move on to Max Freedom's coverage. As I said, Max Freedom is another wonderful independent journalist here in Western Australia. And we are going to watch the sea of people that I mentioned walking up St. George's Terrace, because these people are the absolute heroes of the day, the mums and dads that care about the future of Australia for their children, the nanas and grandpas who care about not only the future, but right now. You know, not only do we have homeless people everywhere, we now have the working poor, you know, the working poor of Australia. So here we are. Please go along to Max Freedom. He's on all of the social media platforms you can imagine. This one we're looking at from his YouTube channel, Max Freedom. So this is a couple of minutes footage of the March for Australia against mass migration, which is written here, 31st of August, marching up St. George's Terrace, everybody. So here are the real heroes of the day. And I hope you enjoy this footage. Big shout out to Max Freedom.
Good job. Elbows of winger. Oi, oi, oi.
I'm that person that climbed to the moat. How many?
Oh, about 30,000 probably.
I've got to pause it there. We just had corporate media prostitutes there stopping in front of the traffic lights, the gentleman with the rather large camera and the young lass in the purple T-shirt. I tell you what, Channel 7, that cameraman and that young lass there in purple, they were there all day. I don't know if their footage was actually shown on corporate media, who knows? But they stuck it out the whole day. Usually these corporate media people just come along for a little bit, but they were there for the whole day. So well done, Channel 7. Well done. Good on you.
Control and domination. That's the goal of all power systems.
Sorry about the ads, everybody.
Come on, Aussie, come on. Hey, good to see you. Come on, Aussie, come on.
Isn't it interesting watching the different news reports about this? You were just, Charlie Brown AU, saying there wasn't any mainstream propaganda video filming in Brisbane. I've seen other reports that people are surprised about the balanced reporting. I've seen some really bad reporting as well. But, you know, if all of MSM gets on board and, you know, goes real negative, uses the Nazi comment, but, you know, all this stuff. You know, it's like in America during the Trump campaign where Biden called, you know, all the Trump supporters trash. And then Donald Trump, next thing he rocks up in a garbage truck. I mean, Biden called the vast majority of Americans garbage. So this would be the same situation. So I guess corporate media are kind of walking a tight line. And this is what surprises me about the politicians, you know, saying that they don't support this, you know, or blah, blah, blah. You know, you're calling Australians garbage, you know, that they're Nazi sympathisers and all this sort of stuff. You're calling everyday Australians these things, you know. So the more they do that, the more these very good, honest Australians walking here that we can see are going to become more annoyed. So they're really walking a fine line at the moment. Corporate media and the politicians want to go around calling all these wonderful people racists and Nazis, and if you attended, you support all this stuff. It's a very fine line that they're walking. A very fine line.
I had a good run into this Nazi.
No, they're going ahead.
I don't think we're going to fit up there.
No, we're not. Want to get up to it? Can you see how many more are coming? You're getting right in. Get in the middle. Let's talk about it.
I think Richie's
Get in the middle because you get the crowd.
Hey!
Found it. Aussie!
Elbows the wanker!
Elbows the wanker!
Elbows the wanker! Elbows the wanker!
Fantastic. You know, this is Perth, sleepy old Perth that nobody really cares about. Look at all these wonderful people. Just amazing.
2 seconds, ready to go. We better
Oh, Max Freedom! Station! Yes!
Alrighty, everybody. I think we'll stop screening the share there. We've only got a couple of minutes left of Max Freedom. So I encourage everybody to go along and subscribe to Max Freedom, whatever platform you watch things, whether it's Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, X, Odyssey. Max is all over those. Absolutely fantastic. The real heroes of the day, the Australians. The Australians who care about Australia. Who care that their children can't rent a house, that their children can't afford to buy a house. The people that acknowledge that there isn't enough housing to begin with, and God, how silly do our politicians think we are? I mean, honestly. We've got a very good question here from Sandra K. Excuse me, I've got a million things happening here. People calling me, all sorts of stuff. Great question. Moving forward, what is the solution for the marches? What now occurs? For any seasoned COVID era activist, I think we know the answer to, what happens after protests. But the really positive thing that does come out of protests, especially this one, is that it signifies that we have a visual representation of how many Australians are aware of this situation at the moment and are concerned. We have a visual representation because we had rallies across each capital city. That visual representation is not only very important to us so that we can all identify, and more importantly, the general public can all identify that they're not alone in their thinking, it's very important as well that visual representation of that knowledge throughout the general public is shown to our leaders. People can have debates, discussions, so on and so forth, what would be the outcome of such a rally? How does it benefit us, as Australians dealing with the issues that we're there for at the rally, all these sorts of things, which people can talk about till the cows come home. But those are the two things I think is really important, that the everyday Australian realises that they're not alone. We've seen in every capital city, and also that visual representation to our leaders who persist in telling us that the housing crisis isn't a result of immigration and that Australians are a bunch of bigoted racists. So, they've really got to watch what they're doing. Like I mentioned before, they're walking a very fine line at the moment. The other thing is too, as Rod pointed out at the end of his speech in Perth at Parliament House, is what to do now. You go and talk to your family and friends. And that's the best thing we can do. Sometimes it's difficult to have those conversations with your family and your friends. It's kind of, those things, don't talk about politics, don't talk about God, all these sorts of things. Well, I think us lot, we've got a good set, each of us, and we can really get together and talk to people. And the general public now will also feel empowered just by that show of strength and solidarity yesterday, be empowered to have those conversations as well. Melissa, go to Edge Radio Australia. Yes, Edge Radio Australia, you can find them online, edgeradioaustralia.com. Aaron Malloy, the founder of Edge Radio, and his friend was refused entry into a bar last night after the march because he was wearing what? A shirt with Australian flags on it. So you can find that video on Aaron Malloy's Fascist Book page. Go and have a look at that, and also listen to Edge Radio Australia. Alrighty, everybody. So yes, make sure you have continue to have those conversations. People in the comments are talking about September 13 rally. I haven't had time to have a look in any great detail at that, so I'm not going to talk about something that I haven't been able to look at myself. But everybody is free to go and do their own research and look into it. Good on you, Richard, for subscribing to Max Freedom. Absolutely fantastic. Not a problem, Sandra. That's what it's about, isn't it? Having a live audience and we can chat amongst ourselves. It's great. And a huge thank you to Joel for streaming for nearly 7 hours, I think, yesterday, and getting everybody's feed and doing phone-ins with people and all sorts of things to get coverage out to the Australian public live as it happened yesterday. So that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Rob, for reposting this stream. I very much appreciate it. Sandra, would I consider joining a party? No. Absolutely not. Why not? Because as a researcher, writer, editor and podcaster, I need to try to remain as impartial as possible, even though I have my own soapboxes that I jump on, especially when we're talking about the COVID era and the old Britney Spears. No, I don't think that would serve me well. It doesn't mean that I don't follow different parties' activities and what they're up to. I mean, of course, that's part of my job as keeping up with what's going on and part of my research. But it's a personal decision that I've made that no, I wouldn't consider joining a party. So there we go, in case anybody else was wondering. All right, everyone, I am going to go. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to put all of your comments up. I'm going to try and get some work done. And then this evening, if all goes well, I'm not going to jinx it. I will be back for a very important interview tonight. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to finish the show now. And the real heroes of the day, the bloody good old Australians. I don't mean old in years, but you know what I mean as part of an expression, that turned up yesterday. The mums, the dads, the nanas, the grandpas, aunties, uncles, the full families with the babies in the prams and the kids with the flags and the signs. It's the Australians. They were the heroes of the day. So thanks everyone for joining me today. Thanks to Senator Rod Caddies that jumped in today as well and gave us some comments and information about the things we went through today. I really appreciate that. Absolutely fantastic. Join me anytime you like on a podcast. Always here to talk to people. Have a wonderful day. And take my hat off to all of the Australians that attended yesterday. What a fantastic day. All righty. See you later.
Strength of a woman.